Hello and welcome to the Pre-Hospital Emergency Care Council's explanatory video on the ePortfolio for Emergency Medical Technicians Continuous Professional Competence, also known as EMT CPC. The purpose of this short video is to demonstrate how to access the ePortfolio, how to add information, and how to upload supporting documents. To log on to the ePortfolio, go to the PHECC website, www.phec.ie. Click on the Register tab at the top of the page, and from the drop-down menu on the left-hand side of that page, select CPC for EMTs. Now click on ePortfolio. Your username is your PHECC PIN number. If you have not changed your default password for logging onto the PHECC website, your password is defaulted to capital P followed by your full date of birth along with your PIN number. For example, if your birthday is the 1st of January 1982 and your PIN number is 9999, then your password will be capital P 0101 1982 9999. Once you have logged in, you will arrive at the main page. This shows your license photograph on the left-hand side along with your name and the CPG organisation you have indicated you practice with. This page also has options to sign out, add patient contact, view your full portfolio, an overview of current patient contacts already recorded for this cycle, previous CPC cycle portfolios listed as My Reports. These previous portfolios are read-only. Adding a patient contact is a standalone task for the portfolio. Feedback from our EMT focus group indicated that adding a patient contact was the area they would use the ePortfolio the most, and so PHECC has placed it on the main page so that you can access it quickly. When you click on Add Patient Contact, the ePortfolio opens a pop-up box. You may be prompted to allow pop-ups on your computer. This pop-up screen is safe and should be allowed. The pop-up screen opens with several fields. The first is a PHECC reference number. This is a unique number to link the patient contact solely to your CPC portfolio and cannot be changed by you. The first field to be completed is the date of the patient contact. Here you can type the date, or alternatively, you can select the calendar and then the date. The single arrow at the top will advance the calendar by 1 month, whereas the double arrow will advance by 3 months. The next field required is an ACR, PCR, or incident number. This is then followed by the CPG organisation, which can be selected from the drop-down menu. Your primary organisation will automatically appear here, but you can select any CPG approved organisation if you work for others. Finally, you can input the injury or illness present along with the treatment given. Remember, you should include as much detail as possible on the patient's treatment, particularly involving vital observations. As with all aspects of your ePortfolio, the Data Protection Act of 2018, commonly known as GDPR, should be considered and the patient should not be directly identified. Once you've completed the patient contact, you must then click the Add Patient button. This may take a number of minutes to update to your ePortfolio main page. While the ePortfolio is currently designed to operate on desktop, the Add Patient Contact task is fully functional on a mobile device. We will now look at the full portfolio. When you click this button, it'll take you to an overview page. On this page, it'll once again show a reference number. Like patient contacts, this is an internal reference for the ePortfolio and cannot be edited or changed. It also states your name. Under your name, there is a summary of your CPC points under 3 headings: reflective practice, case studies, self-selected points, and patient contacts. If an item has not been started, it will be listed in red. If it is started, it will appear as amber and also indicate how many points, patient contacts, are required. When you've entered details to match the amount required, the text will turn green. It should be noted that this is only an indication of information that you've put into the ePortfolio and not an indication that the information has met the EMT CPC standard. Under the summary is the EMT's declaration, which must be ticked to proceed. This is a mandatory item that cannot be skipped. Once we've ticked this box, we can now click Save and Refresh at the end of the page. It is good practice to click Save and Refresh each time you input data into the ePortfolio, and you should ensure that the information has indeed saved. We can now navigate to other areas of the portfolio by clicking Next Page or by using the drop-down menu. In this page, we have a practice statement. This is an indication of who you practice with, where you practice, and if it is paid or voluntary. You can add more than one CPG organisation here. The second part of the practice status is a statement of context. This is a free text box which is non-limited and gives you the opportunity to tell us how long you were practicing, how you collect your CPC points, interesting cases or CPC events you've come across in the year, any difficulties you've faced along with any other relevant information that you think your assessor should know. You must complete the statement of context in each portfolio for each cycle. Once the data has been inputted, then click Save and Refresh and continue to the next page. In section 2, we have the compulsory items for EMT CPC. These include patient contacts, CPG status, cardiac first response advanced. Any patient contacts you've listed will be included here in a read-only list. Patient contacts cannot be added from this page, so to add a new patient contact, you must return to the main page as indicated earlier. For CPG status, you must add a file. The ePortfolio will accept a variety of file types, however, JPEG and PDF are preferred. Save your upskilling certificate to your computer in a folder location you know and can access. Alongside the Browse button, you will see the text No File Selected. Click Browse and navigate to where you've saved your file. Highlight it and click Open. At this stage, your file will be listed on the page. However, you must click Attach for it to successfully save to the ePortfolio. Once it is successfully attached, it will show up in light grey with options for you to view it and to remove it. There is only one option to upload a certificate here, as you are only required to upload the latest CPG upskilling certificate. For example, if you qualified in 2010, you would have a 2014 and 2017 upskilling certificate. You are only required to upload the 2017 upskilling certificate. If you are newly qualified and do not have a CPG upskilling certificate, please upload and attach your NQ-EMT certificate, which has the date of your qualification listed on it. For CF4 Advanced, the procedure is similar to CPG status. The same upload and attach process is used to locate, open, and attach a certificate to the portfolio. Here, however, you must also include the expiry date of your CF4A certificate. There is also an option to include a second CF4A certificate. In the event that your CF4A certificate expires within a CPC cycle, we require you to submit both your old CF4A certificate along with your new current one to cover the entire CPC cycle and all patient contacts. It should be noted that the CF4A is a mandatory aspect of your EMT licence and you cannot practice without an in-date PHECC issued CF4A certificate. There is no substitute for this, and it is the registrant's responsibility to ensure certification and not their employer or CPG organisation. Once you've completed and added items here, remember to click Save and Refresh and then the Next Page button. We can now move to the next page. This next page caters for your additional requirements such as case studies, reflective practices and self-selected items. The first item listed within the additional requirements page is reflective practice. Any previously written reflections are listed here. To add a reflection, we click Add a New Record. As with adding a patient contact, this also opens up a pop-up box. For the purpose of the ePortfolio, we've included the Gibbs model of reflection. Each area of the Gibbs cycle is covered in detail in the EMT CPC guidance book. The text boxes are unlimited, so you can continue to write with as much detail as required. Once you have finished, you have two options. You can click Save, which will save the reflection and close the pop-up window, or you can click Save and New, which will save the reflection and open up a new blank template if you wish to include a second one. If you have saved and opened a new one in error, you can also click Cancel to take you back to the portfolio. Once again, once you have added any item, you should click Save and Refresh. The next item listed is case studies. As with the reflections, any previously saved case studies are listed here, and to add a case study, you must click Add a New Record. Clicking this opens a new pop-up box which contains 6 headings and text boxes. Details of what information our assessors are looking for in a case study, along with examples, can be found in the Template Portfolio and Samples area of the PHECC website. Our marking rubric is published here. It should be noted here that case studies or reflective practice cannot be deleted, however they can be overwritten. You can now click Save and Refresh. The final item in this section is your self-selected items. Any previously saved items will appear here. As with case studies and reflective practice, to add an item you must click Add a New Record, which once again opens a pop-up box. At the top of the box you will see a drop-down menu of self-selected items. When you select an item, in this case electronic learning, you will notice that the text boxes update after a few seconds, depending on which self-selected item you've chosen. It also allows you to indicate the date in which you've completed the e-learning. You can then progress down through the required information. It is advisable to include as much information as you can in each box. You must manually input the number of CPC points you are claiming, bearing in mind the list of maximum points you can claim per item. In this case, it is a maximum of 6 points. Your CPC points should be listed on the CPC certificate or, if they are not specified, they are awarded on a 1 CPC point per hour basis. At the end of the box, you will also have the opportunity to include evidential proof of your self-selected item. Here you should click Browse, navigate and select your desired file, and click Open. It is once again important for you to now click Attach. Once it is attached successfully, the file name will appear in grey and you will have the option to view the file or remove it. Once complete, you can then click Save, which will save and close the box, or Save and New, which will save and open another self-selected items box. If this was an error, just click Cancel to return to the Additional Items page. You should now see your newly added self-selected item on the page. You can now select it if you wish to edit it, or, if you so wish, you can also delete it. We can now click Save and Refresh and continue to the next page. We would now draw your attention to the incomplete CPC section of the ePortfolio. Whether you are called for CPC assessment or not, it is the registrant's obligation to complete CPC each year on or before the 31st of October. You should note that PHECC may request your previous 3 CPC portfolios. Registrant should also note that in re-registering, you are making a declaration that you have completed CPC. The final page is a point summary of your CPC portfolio. This page is only to give the registrant an indication of how many points are required in their portfolio. Once again, it is reliant on the information that you put into the portfolio and is not an indication that the information meets the EMT CPC standard. Within the summary of self-selected items here, you will also see that the ePortfolio will indicate where you've met a maximum number of CPC points in a particular area, and that while you can add more items under this heading, further points will not count towards your required self-selected points. Finally, you can now click on the drop-down list to quickly jump to a section you wish to. While the ePortfolio in its current form is developed for desktop use, you can use several features on your mobile device. These include adding patient contacts and certificates. Clear, high-quality and readable photographs of certificates can be taken by your mobile device and uploaded where necessary, removing the need to worry about scanning a certificate. Like CPC, this ePortfolio will continually be evaluated, updated and improved, and is reliant on feedback from you, the users. We welcome and encourage any feedback to be sent to cpc@phec.ie, where it will be included in the next periodic review of the development. Thank you for watching this video, which we hope you found informative. We wish you well in the collection of CPC and your practice as an EMT.